Boudica, the day Rome created its deadliest enemy in the year AD 60 in eastern Britannia, there lived a queen named Boudica. She ruled the Iceni tribe, a proud Celtic people who had, until then, lived in uneasy peace with the Roman Empire. Her husband, King Prasutagus, believed in coexistence. He believed Rome could be negotiated with. He believed treaties mattered. Together, they ruled quietly under Roman oversight. They had two daughters, one about 15 years old, the other 13. When Prasutagus felt death approaching, he tried to protect his family the only way he thought possible, through Roman law. In his will, he left half of his kingdom to Emperor Nero, and the other half to his daughters. He believed this compromise would keep Rome satisfied. He believed it would keep his family safe. He was wrong. Prasutagus died in AD 60, and from that moment everything collapsed. Roman officials arrived almost immediately. They read the will, and then, according to Roman historians, they laughed. Rome had no interest in half a kingdom. Rome wanted everything. According to the historian Tacitus, Roman officers entered Boudica's palace while she was still dressed in mourning. A Roman centurion stood before her and declared that she was no longer a queen, only a subject of Rome. Boudica protested. She cited the treaty. She referenced her husband's will. The Roman response was swift and deliberate. Tacitus records that Boudica was publicly flogged. Her daughters were assaulted by Roman soldiers. This was not uncontrolled violence. It was intentional humiliation. The Roman historian Cassius Dio provides further detail. Boudica was dragged from her chambers and stripped before her people. She was bound to a post in the palace courtyard. The beating was carried out in full view of Iceni nobles and servants. With each strike, Roman officers announced that this was the fate of those who resisted Roman authority. Her back was torn open, blood ran down her body, and then her daughters were brought forward. They were children. They were harmed publicly, deliberately, and systematically. This was not hidden. It was not rushed. It was not accidental. Rome wanted witnesses, because this was how Rome conquered. The empire did not merely seize land. It shattered identity, dignity, and hope. Violence against ruling families was a message. Your gods cannot protect you. Your leaders cannot protect you. Your traditions are meaningless. Cassius Dio records that Iceni nobles were enslaved, estates were seized, and sacred sites were looted. Temples that had stood for generations were desecrated. This was not war. It was terror. Archaeology supports this account. In 2005, mass graves were uncovered in former Iceni territory. Hundreds of bodies, many of them women and children, buried together. Broken bones, crushed skulls, clear signs of violence. Radiocarbon dating places their deaths precisely around AD 60. This was not collateral damage. It was systematic punishment. Roman administrative documents from the period outlined the policy clearly. Resistant tribes were to be destroyed, elites enslaved, communities broken, approved, planned, executed. But Rome miscalculated one thing. Boudica did not break. Her body was destroyed. Her daughters were shattered. But something inside her ignited rage, purpose. 2 weeks later, she stood again. Every movement tore at her wounds, but she summoned what remained of her people. She spoke to them. Tacitus records her words. They have taken our wealth. They have taken our freedom. They have violated our daughters. But there is one thing they cannot take, our fury. The Iceni rose. Other tribes joined them, the Trinovantes. The Catuvellani, many more, all victims of Roman cruelty. Within weeks, Boudica commanded an army of over 100,000 warriors. Their first target was Camulaginum, modern Colchester, a Roman colonial stronghold built on stolen land. In AD 60, they attacked. There was no battle. There was annihilation. Archaeological excavations reveal a thick red destruction layer beneath the city. Ash, charred timber, shattered stone, human remains. Everything burned, Tacitus writes that the city was wiped from the earth. No Roman survived. Next came Londinium, modern London. The Roman governor, Suetonius Paulinus, knew he could not defend it. He abandoned the city and its civilians. When Boudica's forces arrived, Londinium was undefended. Beneath modern London lies what archaeologists call the Boudican destruction layer: melted glass, scorched debris, collapsed buildings. Tacitus estimates that more than 70,000 Romans and allies died across Londinium and Verulamium. This was vengeance, not mercy. But even after all this, Boudica's daughters remained silent. They lived, but something inside them was gone. Rome regrouped. In AD 61, Suetonius returned with a reorganized army. The final battle took place somewhere along Watling Street. Boudica had numbers, Rome had discipline. By nightfall, the rebellion was crushed. Tacitus claims 80,000 Britons died. Rome lost fewer than 500. Boudica escaped with her daughters. What happened next is uncertain. Tacitus says she chose poison. Cassius Dio claims illness. Both agree on one thing: she died within weeks. Her daughters vanish from history. No names, no graves, no records, only silence. Boudica's body was never found. Legend claims she is buried somewhere beneath London, perhaps beneath what is now King's Cross Station. Rome deliberately hid her burial site, fearing it would become a symbol of resistance. And yet she was never erased. Roman historians themselves acknowledged her courage. Today, a statue of Boudica stands near Westminster Bridge, a queen in a chariot, her daughters beside her. But most people do not know the full story. They know the rebellion, they know the fire, they do not know the chains, the flogging, the calculated cruelty. Boudica was not born a rebel. Rome made her one. She was both victim and executioner, both hero and destroyer. And her story reminds us of something timeless. Empires do not fall because of rebels. They fall because of what they do to create them.